everyone. Welcome to Angel Healing House Radio. My name is Claire Candy Hough. Through my business, Angel Healing House, which can be found at angelhealinghouse.com. I'm a writer and an author, an international radio host, a Reiki master teacher, and an angel practitioner. My inspirational books entitled Angels of Faith and One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and my autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, are based on my recollections of our life in spirit, and they help us to remember our divine, eternal natures. Through Angel Healing House, I help people to let go of sadness, anger, bitterness, resentment, and regret that has kept them locked in the prison of the past, and I help them to let go of worry, stress, and control, which has kept them focused on an imagined future. And once they are no longer living in the past or the future, they can start to live in the present moment, which is the only place that they can experience synchronicities, miracles, and magic. As an angel practitioner, I help people to see their lives from a higher perspective with the help of an extraordinary group of angels who call themselves the Posse of Angels. Just like my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, I'm very excited to take some of your calls for that free angel advice. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. But before we get to those callers, let's have a drum roll, please. Welcome to the 400th Angel Healing House weekly radio program. That's right. It was in January of 2012, almost 8 years ago, that I created Angel Healing House Radio. And I began to build my global community. You know, over those years, I received listeners and callers from places like Ireland, Italy, France, Bulgaria, Jordan, Brazil, India, Australia, all around America, Canada, just to name a few places. You know, I've heard from so many people with words of congratulations, and it just absolutely warms my heart. This one is one of those listeners who has been with me from the very start. She writes, 400 shows of reaching out, sharing wisdom, touching lives, being love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the times, all the ways you guided me, supported me, touched my life, and shared your love. I wish you continual success and infinite blessings. And here's to 400 more shows. And that comes from Julia Ladd. It has been an absolute joy and honor to bring forth the messages and insights from myself and my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, over these past years. And I thank all of my callers and listeners from around the world. Now, especially for today, as it is that 400th show, all callers calling into the show, whether I get to speak with you or not, will go into a random drawing, and one gift package of all of my books and my meditation CD. Once again, that's Angels of Faith and my book, One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and that book sequel, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, the autobiography of Angel Ariel, and also my guided angel meditation CD, which is Letting Go and Living in the Now. All of those will go to one randomly chosen person from all of those numbers, all of those phone numbers that appear on the switchboard today. And with today being the first show of September after last week's extraordinary new moon in Virgo that is helping to bring life-changing events to so many of us, I wanted to address for my 400th show a really important message for all light workers. And that's why the show is entitled, your third mission as a light worker on planet Earth. Now, a lot of you may be saying, I didn't know I was on a mission, and certainly I didn't know that there was more than one mission coming back. So let's have it tune in. In the conscious collective, with some might call us light workers, as we are consciously working in the light, we have been on a journey of inner discovery of who we are since we incarnated into human form. Now, as children, as we grew up, many of us felt, hmm, let's use that word, not quite normal, somehow different from our other family members. Growing up, we felt unheard, we felt unseen. We actually felt not acknowledged, and we kept kind of to the periphery of life. And we did the best we could to fit in to these families of vast contrast that we had written into the contract of our life. We chose them. When we got older, many of us heard a calling in our hearts to break away, to go on an adventure, what I call to go forth on the hero's journey. Now, here I am referencing Joseph Campbell's book, in which he talks about a 12-step process that many experience on their journey forth. Those that heeded the call in their heart to go on an adventure left home to experience different cultures. They traveled perhaps to Tibet and India and Israel. They lived on ashrams, kibbutzes, communes. Some lived on the streets. Some went to San Francisco and participated in love-ins. Some went to Woodstock and danced naked in a stream. And then there were some who heard the call in their hearts and they refused to go on the journey. They refused to go on the adventure as they didn't want to rock the boat and go against the status quo and dictates of their families, their religions, their community, their culture and society, and so they stayed. But this was very much like the former soul that was in the body that I write about in I Am an Angelic Walk-In, and she just didn't want to go against her family. Her family said, "No, no, you get married to a rich man, you have children, and that is your lot in life." But this calling grew louder and louder and louder in our hearts for those that refused to go on the journey. And we drew to ourselves a mentor, an inspirational guide who told us words of wisdom, words of encouragement. They reignited the burning desire to be true to the calling in our hearts. Upon heeding the call, many of those people left mind numbing jobs, soul destroying relationships, and they set off in the direction of their heart's longings. Now, this brings us to the first mission that we all signed on for. And this mission was for us to wake up. Many of us woke up, and we were so hungry for knowledge as we devoured New Age books in the ever expanding spiritual sections of Borders bookstores and Barnes and Noble. We attended workshops. We filled our rooms with singing bowls and crystals and angel statues and incense. Many welcomed anything that brought them to a state of higher consciousness. Now, once we acquired this spiritual knowledge, many of us then became practitioners, alternative therapists, intuitive counselors, life coaches, spiritual teachers, in order then to teach others. You know, everyone, it was actually written on our DNA to help as many people as we could to board the train of ascension to higher consciousness. And many did this at the detriment of their health, their finances, and their emotional well being by saving and enabling as many people as they could. And we not only helped others in this way because it was written in our DNA. It was stamped on our soul to save and enable as many people as we could with our newfound spiritual knowledge. Now, in and this is pretty much what happened up until 2012. Then in comes 2012, and what do we experience? Well, many of us in the collective found that our clients or our sources of income began to dry up. And we simply could no longer do the jobs that we were employed to do because it was soul destroying, and many people became redundant around that time. What this forced many to do was to find new directions and different ways in which to spread our spiritual knowledge messages, because the embers burning desire to spread spiritual knowledge was still very much alive in our hearts. And over the past 8.5 years, many found creative ways to get their message out by creating radio programs like I created Angel Healing House weekly radio program in January of 2012. Many wrote print books, ebooks, audiobooks. Many wrote blogs and newsletters. Many did podcasts, created CDs, creating online courses, and many, many more things as technology got more and more advanced. With the help of this technology, there had never, ever been another time in recorded history when so much light filled information flooded onto the planet. Now, the hero's journey that many of us have been on of waking ourselves up, remembering the spiritual knowledge, and then helping others to awaken. During this journey, many have had financial troubles. Many have become bankrupt, experienced divorces, drew life threatening illnesses to themselves, had crises of who they were, and they went through dark nights of the soul. But through all these tests, through all these challenges and struggles, many light workers now find that they've come full circle on their hero's journey. Which brings us to our third mission. What are we going to do with this priceless treasure? The wealth of experiences and spiritual knowledge that we've earned through hard learned lessons on our hero's journey. Each one of us has a choice now. Will we take it? Will we take our hard fought for spiritual knowledge that we acquired, and will we use it for our personal gain? Or will we put our hand up, up, up and give ourselves over to step forward to become the new wave of spiritual thought leaders on the planet, the new messengers to serve a higher cause? Now, believe me, announcing to spirit that we will serve a higher cause is not for the faint hearted, and it will take a great deal of courage. For instance, the courage to put one's face on a book that announces that I am an angelic walk in. How about that? And the bravery of myself to speak openly and honestly on hundreds of interviews about my remarkable experience. When the Posse of Angels, my angelic family, said for me to put my face on this book, I was like a deer caught in the headlights. It's one thing to write a book, but it's another thing to openly own it and put your face on it. So, many of us who have hid behind microphones and on the internet will be called to go out into the world and publicly share our messages. It's a choice. Neither one is better than the other. I'll give you an example. I have a dear friend who is and has been a renowned astrologer for the past 40 years. She protested the Vietnam War in the 60s. She went into boats and saved whales with Greenpeace, and she marched in Washington for women's rights. When I asked her, how is she going to serve in her third mission, she said that she's going to look after her grandchildren and tend to her organic vegetable garden, because after after almost 60 years, she is just exhausted and weary after a lifetime of service. And this is perfection for her. Many of us will choose to retire and live the manifested heaven on earth lives that we create and live out our physical existence knowing that we made an enormous difference on the planet, adding to the light and love quotient. But there are others who will step forward and be the next wave of public faces to remind people of their love and light and their divine eternal natures. We get to choose now. But there are, okay, so the angels know us better than we know ourselves. They will hint, encourage, and support, but again, it is up to us now. But the angels are assuring us if there's any inkling inside of you that you want to step forward and be the new teacher on the planet, and you decide not to, they assure you that when you cross over and you stand before the etheric council, you will regret your decision that you did not face your courage and step forward as a new spiritual leader on the planet. So, as we are at such an important crossroads concerning what we will decide for our next mission, I wanted to draw attention to focus on some of the events that have been uh, brought to the light directly by the work of light workers. In the past several years, the increased light brought about the Me Too movement, finally seeing many women having the courage to address sexual abuse by men like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. You know, these people were supposedly too powerful to fall. The enormous light on the planet saw the decriminalization of marijuana. Now, who in their right mind would ever think this would have happened? And now it's looked as an amazing medicinal plant with healing properties. And how about this one? The fact that we have women running for president and that they are actually publicly addressing the power of love, and they're using words like integrity, morality, and honesty as part of their platforms now. These are words that are not usually associated with politics. And I heard that one candidate wants to make reparations to African Americans for the past heinous acts of slavery. All of these are amazing milestones. The increased light on the planet also saw the recent news about the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein and those elite people in positions of power associated with him, around pedophile rings, as well as the church's involvement in pedophilia, as they just moved on offending priests to new dioceses after their dark deeds were discovered of child abuse, and they were just moved on. But what is really important here, everyone, is to take note of is that these events are not new. They all have been exposed before. In fact, in early 2002, the Boston Globe published results of an investigation that led to the criminal prosecution of 5 Roman Catholic priests and drove into the national spotlight the sexual abuse of minors by the Catholic Church. And in 2005, Jeffrey Epstein gained a plea deal for sex offenses. Yet both of the instances were quickly forgotten and swept under the rug. Obviously, 10 plus years ago, the world was not ready, the light was not strong enough to really shine a light on the Jeffrey Epsteins, the Catholic Church, the Bill Cosbys, the Harvey Weinsteins, the pedophile priests. But now these things are publicly being dealt with in the media. This is happening because the light is so strong. The truth is, for light workers, everyone, is that we didn't just come back to teach people about the laws of attraction or quantum physics, everything is energy, or about living in the present moment. We incarnated at this time with a burning desire to reveal the truth that almost every facet of our lives has been carefully hijacked and orchestrated to keep us living as slaves in a controlled matrix. But up until 2012, many light workers were not grounded enough. They were not they were not grounded enough. That's a great word to use to perceive the enormity. They were not ready of the pervasive darkness. They were not ready to see the pervasive darkness on this planet. Some examples of the darkness is fluoride in our water, which is a poison. It affects our thyroid and our pineal gland as it calcifies that gland, and that's our gateway to listening to our intuition. How about chemtrails, those white streaks across the sky, seeding our breathing air with filings of aluminum and barium, poisonous glyphosates, which are in our food, sprayed with Roundup, the suppression of free energy, which Nikolai Tesla and others knew about to keep us reliant on fossil fuels. These and many others are the reasons that we came back to shine a light on our long suffering planet. And with these revelations, there may be many that look at the state of our world and they start to lose hope. But the Posse of Angels is saying that these revelations and many others to follow are unfolding in perfect timing. And they want to remind all of us that the world learns its best lessons in contrast. They wish to point out that there have been many dark events throughout history that have helped us to inch closer to the light. Compare today's world with some of these following things. How about the destruction of the beautiful egalitarian goddess cultures that were overtaken by man-made religions in which women were marginalized and they were deemed to be either imbeciles, whores, or witches? How about the church's crusades and inquisitions, hacking and burning people to death for not converting to Christianity because they wanted to steal their money and their land? How about the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were exterminated? How about the enslavement and capture of 12 million African Americans for profit? And how about the dissemination of 25 million plus Native Americans in the United States for their land? Each one of these events, and so many others, was a step forward to bring us to where we are today, where not only are things being revealed, but they are being talked about, they are being addressed, and it's spilling over into the media. Now, the Posse of Angels wishes that you could see from an angel's perspective, that you could see all the kindness, the goodness, the harmony and cooperation which is continually growing on this planet, but it's not spoken about in the highly controlled news because most of that is about hatred and gossip and negativity and division and disharmony, as it keeps us in an energy of fear in order to be more easily manipulated and perpetuate negative dark energy. You know, once we find out about these crimes against humanity, even the most loving, light filled light workers can't help but be affected by these revelations that are deeply disturbing. With more and more horrendous dark disclosures, some of you might be saying, there must be spiritual justice to help us through these trying times. It is important to remember that if we are seeing it in our reality, that in some way we are in some part responsible for it having occurred. Now, some of you might be saying, but I didn't conspire for any of those awful things to happen. But if we have held any negative thoughts, if you've ever opened your mouth and uttered anything about judgment, if you've said any negative words, negative emotions of hatred, anger, resentment, bitterness, rage, and believe me, this is just about anyone who has ever had an abusive ex or someone who has defrauded them, lied, cheated, defamed their name and reputation, then the energies of those thoughts, words, and feelings went into creating and feeding negativity on the planet. We who are embracing the light on the planet, we don't need to seek spiritual justice because what the perpetrators of these deeds really do need from us is they need our love. They need our forgiveness and healing thoughts as they are so far away from their divine connection to God and their divine eternal natures. Now, to deal with dark revelations, we can practice being in the world and not of it. Like the list of historical atrocities that I mentioned, it has happened before and it is happening now. We can be a quiet observer that blesses the enormous contrast that it's showing us to help people wake up. Instead of seeking spiritual justice, we can put all our efforts in finding solutions to work together and to contribute harmony to the world without harming anyone. Having found our peace within, to find the positivity in the light, which is revealing the darkness in order for it to be finally dealt with, we can help others not to judge, not to give their power away on things like focusing on perhaps a president that they don't like or on unjust laws of gender discrimination and bias. They can work towards getting those laws changed and becoming involved in the voting process, finding ways to bring more integrity, morality, and truth to represent all facets of our world. For those who will retire now, just like my beautiful astrological or astrology friend who has been working for the light for the past 60 years. The Posse of Angels and I, my angelic family, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the world and the work that you have done for shining your light on the world. And for those who are considering putting your hand up to be of service by stepping forward into your next mission as a light worker, and you're doubting as to whether you have the courage and the bravery to be that public face with your message, it's important to remember that everyone who came before you and everyone who will come after you has experienced doubt. It takes a great deal of courage to show the world your authentic face, your authentic self, and share your knowledge and light. It is this very courage that others have actioned in the past and that have brought deep, dark revelations and disclosures to the world's attention, and that have ultimately and will ultimately change the world. You have been listening to the 400th Angel Healing House radio weekly show. Do remember that there is a giveaway today. Every name and number that appears on that switchboard goes into a random drawing to win a gift package of all of my books and my CD. Even if I don't get a chance to speak with you, your name will go into the drawing. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be taking some of those calls. We'll see you soon.
Take your own journey with the angels with Claire Candy Hough's Heaven Sent Guided Angel Meditation CD, letting go of concerns and living in the now. This beautiful CD walks listeners through practical exercises to help free them from the burdens, worries, and concerns of daily life.
Walking a quarter of the way across the bridge, you see a bright, emerald green light and sense a loving presence. This is Archangel Raphael's green healing energies, nourishing and revitalizing you. Take a moment now to bathe in this green healing light.
Giving you much more than just relaxation and stress release, this wonderfully narrated CD provides vivid visualization, soothing and inspiring music, and an angel's choir that will bring you peace, clarity, and a newfound awareness. Visit angelhealinghouse.com today. To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Hough, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Hello, everyone. You're back with me, Claire Candy Hough, on the 400th Angel Healing House radio program. Let's dive immediately into our callers. We've got quite a diverse group. We've got California, New York, Seattle, Virginia, Illinois. Let's go to Kate. Kate in Seattle, you're on the line with Angel Healing House Radio. How are you today, Kate?
Hi, Claire. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Lovely to speak with you. What's happening in your world?
I loved the show so far. It's actually the first time I've ever heard it.
Oh my gosh!
And I met
Welcome,
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, honey, you are totally. You're channeling something really, really true. And I met you 8 years ago in Santa Barbara. And
oh my gosh, where did we meet?
Anyways, through your husband, I worked with Andy. I was his assistant.
Oh yes. Hello. Yes. I do remember.
Yeah, I got this amazing assistant job through. I was started as being the massage therapist for a family, and then started assisting, and that's how I met you.
That's right.
And I did massage therapy for 15 years, and right around 2012, I started sharing the powerful essential oils, and was able to transform my finances and give myself some freedom, financial freedom, to where I could actually just live and learn those lessons that you were talking about, being a light worker and not being fully grounded at that time. And so just finally started my coaching practice after a couple more certifications and trainings, and 5 years focusing on working directly with people. So I just started emotional freedom technique, tapping, working with people, fully beautiful work, giving ourselves permission to feel everything and take the time to think about everything. And I just feel like my whole energetic signature in my family has changed in the last couple years. Just no more fighting, no more. I mean, I've done a lot of work on that, and I just have no desire to fight anymore. And I used to have a lot in me, and I just really want to channel my energy for, my purpose on this planet at this time, and helping others see theirs also. Yeah. And I really enjoyed what you were saying about, Me Too and Time's Up and all of that. And I'm a visionary, so I see really far in the future, and I really see that it's not just women that are being abused, not even close.
Right.
So I just want to be a woman's voice to say that women can be very abusive in the workplace. They can dominate, they can manipulate, they can do extortion, they can sexually abuse, all of that. So it's not, men and boys are abused big time too by women. So we're not even ready for that yet.
That's true. That's true. And all those, with the light shining on the planet, these dark reveals will continue. And many of us are just now grounded enough to be able to really see what has been going on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just felt called to connect with you after all these years today. And I just wanted to congratulate you on all your shows. And also I'm thanking my angels out loud every day these days. Just thank you, angels. Thank you so much for this life. I'm so happy to be here. And I didn't always want to be on this planet,
No.
So I'm very, very happy to ground my consciousness right now on this planet. And I just wanted to get a reading from you, whatever that looks like. I don't know.
Absolutely. We'll pull some cards for you. While I'm shuffling, it's really important that you don't, that you, meaning the collective we, I guess, as light workers, we let go, we surrender. So as we're going into this season of harvest, we need to let go and surrender whatever that third mission for us looks like. No expectations. You can have your intentions, you can have your dreams, but that's not big enough. That's not big enough. And many of us restrict ourselves. They want us to just put our hand up and know that if we're called to do it, we will be, of course, tune into your intuition, but you will be guided to what it is that is exactly tailor-made for you with all of your foundation that you've built through spiritual knowledge and as a life coach and everything like that. That's just the foundation of where we're going next. The next card of you is perfect. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is the walking away card. Now, there are lots of walking away cards in the deck, but this 8 Eight of Cups card is you're walking away without knowing where you're going. You just know that what you've done before is
Feels
past
like
it.
it. So feels.
Yeah, past its use by date, and you're walking with faith and trust that you will
Yeah.
be divinely guided and led. And because we have so many callers today, I'm only doing a 2 card read. Um, it leads to the world card. That's where it leads. It leads to completion, and then it leads to a whole new brand new beginning for you. So this is just absolutely
Oh, thank you.
beautiful, because
Oh,
you know that you've completed something. And while you're not waiting for the new to happen, because we only live in the now, don't wait, but bless yourself, bless you where you are, and
mhm.
also give yourself great credit for the hero's journey that we've been on. I had just gotten these cards, the hero's journey, so I'm going to pick a hero's journey card for you. And the hero's journey card is called, this one is honor the whisper in your soul. This is the call. And the card is saying to answer that call. When you're being called,
Yeah.
put your hand up and
Mm.
step forward. I've got to take more callers. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you, Kate.
Thank you so much.
Take
Blessings.
care. Bye bye. Let's go to our next caller. We have Justina. Justina's in Illinois. Hi, Justina. How are you?
Hi.
What is happening in your world?
Um, I've just this last like 5 days have been feeling just really overwhelmed.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, so I was just
Okay,
looking for a
we
little
just
guidance.
had a tremendous month of building up with eclipses and new moons and the Lion Gates portal. Um, this is opening us up to our, if you want to call it, our soul's next mission, the growth of our soul, and it is scaring many of us. It is when you tap into your greatness, your multidimensional being, who you are, your God, goddess. It is very unsettling. And we as human beings immediately want to figure it out, what to know, what to do with it. And if we don't, and we haven't gotten a sign as yet what to do with it, then we have trouble just being. And they're saying, beloved, and that's their words, beloved Justina, they want you to just practice being. It was a couple of weeks ago where I was kind of in your shoes, and I was saying, come on already, give me something. I've surrendered, I've released, give me a sign. And I look out on my balcony, and I have an iron balustrade on my balcony, and it's very skinny on top. And there was a squirrel who was fully stretched out on his tummy on this skinny balustrade, and he was winking at me. And that was the sign that they just wanted me to be. I posted on Facebook. If you want to go on my Facebook page, I never got so many people commenting on that squirrel, how he said, how Spirit said, just be. Your being in your essence is helping the planet more than you ever possibly could know. And stop trying to figure it out. And also, when we try to figure it out, we get out of the now, which is the only place that we can receive those signs. So let me go to the cards and see what comes out for our lovely Justina. You are too hard on yourself, they're saying. Stop it. Give yourself credit for the enormous hero's journey that you have been on. They want you to look at this card, the Seven of Cups. They want you to dream. They want you to visualize. Read. Download a book, audio book about the goddess culture, about the goddess within you. Goddesses, they sat by streams, and they brushed their long hair. They were egalitarian. They were all about harmony and working with the rhythms of nature. They want you to go within and dream. Stop being so hard on yourself. And the other card is the Three of Swords. This is the heartbreak card. Please, they want you to transmute this. If you still have heartbreak within you, Acknowledge that you drew that person or event to yourself, because if you didn't, if you didn't write it in your contract, it wouldn't be there. Next, to thank them for the great contrast, because it taught you tolerance and faith and acceptance for someone in such rich contrast to you. Bless this person for they are divine, or this event. Bless them because underneath their choices, they are divine just like you are. And then release them from having any negative effect on you and sit with that. It's going to help you enormously, Justina. And they keep repeating, Justina, don't be so hard on yourself. Love the little Justina, the little girl that's inside of you that wants to play. Oh, that card. Hold on, I'm just bending down to get this card. It just flew out. And it says, Dream Redirection. I didn't make this up. It's a 30 card wherever 3 or more are gathered in my name. Miracles happen. Redream your situation. So there were 2 cards that came up about visualizing and dreaming your dreams. And make sure, the Posse of Angels are saying, is make sure that you dream big. So I hope that's been helpful for you. I've got to go and take some of the next callers.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Let's go to our next caller. Let's, let me see who's next. Let's go to Karen. Karen in Ontario, you're on the line with Angel Healing House Radio's 400th show.
Happy 400th anniversary.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. What's been going on with you?
Oh, it's been a wonderful week. I just wanted to ask the posse and yourself about, we're talking about showing up in our light. I have a daughter who seems our energies oppose each other. She's 23, but I feel very strongly we're here. She chooses health to not show up. And I'm wondering, are we to work together? And is there something I can do to help her through that?
The greatest thing that you can help her to do is to look after yourself. I know that sounds counterintuitive because I'm a mother as well. But the greatest thing that you can do is to nurture and nourish yourself and to allow her to go on her own hero's journey. We have to allow our children, when they get older, to go on their own journey so that they learn their experiences. And sometimes they'll get hurt. And sometimes, even with the best of advice, they will say black, they'll say white. But we have to allow them to make whatever mistakes or experiences they need, because they will learn the contrast from it. And she wouldn't be this way if you didn't write her into your contract to be exactly like this. So the greatest thing that you can do is to make sure that you are nurtured and nourished, and to look after your emotional well-being. Don't you lose your light and get caught up with, you may be not doing a good enough job, or I have all this spiritual knowledge. Why doesn't she listen to me? All of these things. So I think that's a really important thing to understand. Let's go to the cards and see what comes out for you. Well, the first card that's coming out for you is the Queen of Swords, and now this is the card of authority. Sometimes when we deal with irascible young adults, which she falls into that category, who think they know everything, sometimes we have to be unemotional and take a step back. And this is really important to remember. Otherwise, you will lose your light. The next card that's coming out for you is the King of Wands. This is the way we keep our light, is through our joy and our creativity, and by just nurturing our beautiful souls. This is really, really important. And what's going to come out of this is the Star card. And the Star card is the card of hope and faith, and being that star in your own world. And the Posse of Angels are assuring you, please, 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 Don't give away your power. Okay. So I hope that's been helpful for you, Karen.
Beautiful as always. God bless you all.
God bless you. Take care, sweetheart. Bye-bye. Let's go to our next caller. Our next caller, we have Beth. Beth is in California. Hi, Beth.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. 400 shows. Who would have thunk it?
I know. Oh, it's so amazing. It tells you just put one foot in front of the other and you end up somewhere, because that's just amazing.
Absolutely. So you're what's happening in your world?
Well, I'm just I was listening to your conversation about what you were talking about and about the third mission, and I'm just wanted to know if there was a message from the cards, from the angels, as to some, just maybe some direction or something.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the cards and see what comes out. The first thing that's being given to me is that there are lots of distractions in your world. They're showing me. They're showing me. They're showing me socializing. They're showing me children. They're showing me lots of distractions, and these distractions you're putting in place a lot of the time, so to stop you from being that public face. And they're saying it's a choice and there's nothing wrong with it. But they're saying they really do want you to be mindful. You keep adding to the distractions in your life, which keep taking you on course. Keep taking you off course. And at the end of the day, it's like they're showing me like a little fish that's out of water, and you don't have enough time to be like the squirrel, which I spoke about, and just lie on the balustrade and just be. Okay, so they're really saying it's very important for you to take time out and to regain your strength. So let's go to the cards and see what comes out. Oh, isn't that funny? The next card that comes out is strength. Okay, you have to have the fortitude and strength to be that public face. And it's regardless of your age, of how you look. It's the energy inside of you. Now, it's perfectly fine if we want to retire, but if there's still a burning desire within us, then we will deeply regret that we did not step forward. And there seems to be lots and lots and lots of different distractions in the world. And the next card for you is the Hermit card. And this is about taking your light out into the world. So that's a really important thing that they want to stress with you, to diminish the distractions, so that you can go out. One other thing is that I'll pull a card for you, and this card is the Hero's Journey card. I love this. I love this new deck of mine, the Hero's Journey, as we are all on this hero's journey. This card is for you. It's called Divine Drunkenness. Surrender to your spiritual reverie. And they're saying this is what you need to put your focus on and not be so caught up with all of these other distractions. And this is going to help you enormously as we go into this season of harvest. So I hope that's been helpful for you, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you so much, and I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, Angel.
Okay, so I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Sending you lots of love.
Okay, bye. Next caller we have is Stephanie. Stephanie, you're on the line with Angel Healing House Radio. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So I've been pretty distraught since last week, but especially the last few days, and confused. So I was wondering, if they had any insight.
Okay.
I was taking care of a dog that I've taken care of before, and who I walk and all of that, who has a heart condition. And I asked the owners to, you know, give the vet, tell them I have permission to bring him in if necessary. You know, I always try to think worst case scenario, ask everyone to do this, but they didn't do it. They told me, you know, they'd have medication delivered here. They said they had ordered it, so he wouldn't have missed a day, but it turns out that wasn't true. And he was very, very sick, it turns out, when he came here. He would wake up in the middle of the night, gasping, struggling. I told them, I asked him like every day if I could take him to the vet. They kept saying no, to wait. He ended up going at least 3 days without his medication, which they were fine with. And then he ended up dying.
Now, okay, I'm just going to jump in here. I only have about 3 minutes to go, but I need to tell you, Stephanie, that this is not your fault. This is not your fault. You shouldn't feel guilty about it. The dog chose when it needed to exit. And if you go anywhere but what happens in the present moment, then you will lose sight of everything happening in divine order. So it's really important. It's really important for you not to lose sight of this was divinely ordered. I have a feeling that this dog is going to help you from the other side, because dogs don't come here to learn anything. They come as pure love. And that's really important to remember. So I'm going to go to the cards. I only have about a couple of more minutes to go, but it's really important, and really important that you don't take this on as being your fault.
Okay. And thank you. And my other, because I've been like, maybe if I was, I mean, I asked every day to take him to the vet, but maybe if I was more direct, like urgent.
No.
So my other question is, okay, you know, some people think that they wanted him to die and that they kind of set this up for it to happen here because they didn't want to deal with him.
No.
And
I'm getting a no. Okay. I'm getting a no. Okay, I'm hearing from the Posse of Angels that this was not premeditated. There was nothing untoward about it, but to really understand that this was meant to be. So I'm just going to pull some cards, and then I really do have to go. Okay, so we've got the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, it may sound a bit bizarre that comes out in your reading as per this dog dying, but they want you to ritualistically celebrate the life of this dog and how he's going to help you from the other side. Okay, this is really important. And then the next card that's coming out is the Ace of Wands. And this is a new beginning. This is a new beginning for you not to automatically take on that you're guilty about something and that it was your fault, it might be a default programming that still needs to be brought into divine alignment. So please don't worry about it, Stephanie. The dog is in a beautiful place on the Rainbow Bridge, barking and running around and not sick anymore. So please put your emphasis on that. I really do have to go. I'm wishing you so much love. Thank you for being there on this 8-year journey of mine.
Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations.
Take care. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye. And that just about wraps the show up for today, everyone. Remember, everyone that has called into today, that's Ashley, Steph, Beth, Justina, Karen, Kate, Anat, I didn't get a chance to get to you. You will all go in the drawing for that gift package containing my books and my CD. Do remember, Angel Healing House Radio airs every week at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Transformation Talk Radio. Go out, everyone, and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. Love and angel blessings. I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.